Hello everybody, my name is Hyperxhaggis, your crazy Scottish blackman, and today I'm bringing you a killer guide for the killer trapper. This is the first video on my killer masterclass series, where I go over all the killers in Dead by Daylight and try to be as informative as I can to allow you to understand how they work, so that you can try them out for yourself. Trapper is the Dead by Daylight poster boy killer. He's the star of the show, being on the front cover of the game, and is about as simple as all the killers get in Dead by Daylight. Entering the fog with a 32 metre terror radius, a movement speed of 4.6 metres per second, and considered to be one of the taller killers, even though we do have Plague and Artist, he's the perfect killer to learn for most players trying out killer for the first time, so you can understand the basics. Trapper's power consists of his bear traps, which are deadly both to unsuspecting survivors and even himself if you're not too careful. He starts the match with 2 traps without the use of any add-ons. As with each killer in Dead by Daylight, the Trapper has his own 3 unique perks. Those are Agitation, Brutal Strength, and Unnerving Presence. Agitation grants you 18% haste while you're carrying a survivor, while also reducing your terror radius by 12%. Brutal Strength allows you to destroy drop pallets, breakable walls, and generators 20% faster. And Unnerving Presence gives survivors a 10% greater chance of triggering skill checks while they're repairing and healing inside your terror radius. The skill check success zones are also reduced by 60%. So let's talk a little bit about Trapper's power. Trapper's traps are used to deter survivors from engaging in key points in the map and provide pressure towards the survivors while they try to complete their objectives. You can block off pallets, windows, doorways, and even the exit gate switches to effectively render those areas pretty useless while the traps are still active. The survivors can disarm any traps that you place to access these areas if you aren't careful though. If a survivor disarms a trap, you're notified by a loud noise notification and an audible snap of a trap closing. If a survivor finds themselves stepping in one of his traps, they will become immobile until they're set free by another survivor, or they free themselves. If a survivor fails to set themselves free from a trap, you can grab them from it. It is worth noting that you can also hit a survivor while they're stuck in a trap. While this is quicker and carries on any effects from perks you're using, grabbing does give you more points. There's also an achievement for grabbing survivors, if you want to work towards unlocking that. It's common to see Trapper players placing traps at certain tiles, but it becomes much harder or even impossible for the survivors to loop there without becoming trapped or having to take a hit. A common tactic you'll see Trapper players doing is setting up a killer shack with traps at the start of the game. The killer shack is the strongest tile for looping in the game, thanks to the fast window vault and the pallet inside, so it's definitely a good idea to set up there when you load into a game that has a killer shack in the map. However, try not to take too long setting traps, as you'll certainly be losing out on generator pressure. Trapping the killer shack is also an excellent strategy if you have the basement and side shack too. Hooking a survivor here and then blocking off all entrances with traps is a good way to catch survivors who are going for the save, or to be notified before the save that there's a survivor going for it. When it comes to add-ons, 2 that I would recommend are the Trapper Bag, which is rare, and the Fastening Tools, which is also rare. The Trapper Bag allows you to start the trial with 1 extra bear trap, and it allows you to carry 1 around with you, meaning your total jumps up to 3. Fastening Tools increases the bear trap setting speed by 50%, and it also increases the time it takes for survivors to escape or be set free by 25%. Personally, I would recommend avoiding add-ons with every killer when you first try them out, as it will give you a genuine idea of how they play as standard, allowing you to get used to them so that later down the road, if you run out of a certain add-on, you can still play the killer properly. With all this being said, let's jump into some quick gameplay so you can get a general idea of what it looks like to play the Trapper. Okay, indoor map. No shack that we can take advantage of. Somewhat go middle and then we'll trap pallet. So you never want to place your traps directly under the pallet, because the survivors can drop the pallet and then render it useless. what happened there was pretty good. He could only go through the pallet, or he could take the hit. He had to take the hit basically. We'll go over this direction. We summon that gen. So we'll set a trap here at this window. A nice little surprise for the survivors will be trapped in this little hole. In case they want to jump down, and they can land themselves in a trap, just like I did to myself. So I'm gonna try and direct them back into that room. That's a nice dead hard. And we'll go ahead and grab him. Just walk through. We'll hook him up here. He's already dead. Go ahead and we'll... Oops. Pick this up. She thinks we don't know how to get up there. Give her a little hook there. And we'll get up a trap here. Pick up this one and kick generator. Just get some more pressure going with the generators. The generator upstairs in this room sounds as though it's got some progress on it. Always really nice to have that trap set there. Oh, I didn't mean to pick up the trap. Well, I say here we go. It does catch survivors off guard. Sometimes they'll be trying to run into this room here and they'll just run right to it. But they can also, as you can see, if they fall down the hole, they'll land in the trap. Let's make sure we trap that loop there. I'll go and we'll catch Ada. Can't go that way. We can hook these people quite close to each other, so that's what we'll do. Gonna reset that trap. And Leon's going for the save. Now we're going to be playing for Hatch. And Fang found the hatch. So, now that you've seen the Trapper being played with his 3 unique perks, I'd recommend trying him out for yourself. The Trapper can be somewhat underrated, but there's still plenty of good tactics out there, like the Basement Trapper tactic, to help you get the edge over those cheeky survivors. With that being said, the main drawback of Trapper is that without his traps, he's just a simple M1 killer with nothing else too special about him. Placing traps in key areas and setting up appropriately before you try and pressure generators or take chase with any survivors is a must if you want to try and get that 4K. Common loadouts for Trapper consist of slowdown perks like Corrupt Intervention for that early game setup, and generator pressuring perks like Scourge Hook, Pain Resonance, and Dead Man Switch so you can catch up on denying survivors or objective if you take too long setting up your traps. I hope this video has contained some useful information so that you can go ahead and try Trapper out for yourself and hopefully get some 4Ks. If you would like to share any of your thoughts, be sure to leave a comment. I appreciate any feedback I get from these videos as it will help me to improve. To see more of this content, consider subscribing as we'll be bringing more Killer Masterclass videos and other content out in the future. I also stream both Survivor and Killer on Twitch, and you can check me out at twitch.tv/Hyperxhaggis, but I'll also have the link in the description, so feel free to stop by. My name is Hyperxhaggis, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll maybe even see you in the fog.